Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I love you guys, and if you haven't already, please press the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Or if you're on Spotify, please follow me, and if you can, please rate me 5 stars. I would really appreciate that. I love you guys so much, and the theme of this episode is True Off My Chest. So I'm reading all stories from the True Off My Chest subreddit, and these stories, like the True Off My Chest subreddit, is one of my favorites. It has some of the craziest ones, but let's get right into the episode. The title of the first story is I've been hiding a huge secret from everyone in my life for the past 3 years. I pretended to graduate college. I walked across the stage, wore the cap and gown, had the family celebration, took pictures holding a fake diploma cover, the whole thing, but I never actually finished my degree. One semester before graduation, I just cracked. I was burnt out, failing a couple of classes and too ashamed to tell anyone, so instead of facing it, I faked it. I told my parents everything was on track. I bought a cheap gown online, faked the graduate date, and made sure the ceremony wasn't open to guests due to limited capacity. Since then, I've been working random jobs telling people I'm between offers or exploring different fields. It's a constant weight on me. I've had panic attacks just thinking about someone finding out. My parents still proudly mention that I'm the first in the family with a degree. I hate lying to them. I hate lying to everyone. I finally re-enrolled and I'm taking night classes now, slowly fixing the mess I made, but it still feels like I'm living in a lie. I don't know if I'll ever have the guts to tell them what really happened. Then don't. I get feeling like you're living in a lie, but once you finally get a degree, you're not going to feel that way, I feel like, anymore, because then now you're not living in a lie anymore and you can just be like, okay, now I don't have to tell anyone and it's fine because, whatever, you do what you have to do. It's almost like a survival instinct. It's like, obviously, the world wouldn't have ended, but obviously you felt some type of way and you didn't feel comfortable enough to open up to like people close to you, and that's what you felt like you needed to do. I think that's fine. Obviously, I don't think lying is fine, but I think in this kind of like scenario, I think that there's definitely situations in which it would just be easier to lie, which I hate to say that, but like it's true in some scenarios. I feel like as long as you're not hurting anyone, because clearly like they're not hurting, they're thinking good, and it's more helping than hurting. It's a little white lie. Hey, white liar, truth comes out a little at a time. Love that song. Okay. Some of the comments. My nephew did the same thing. He forgot to get tickets for the family to attend the ceremony, even though they'd flown in from out of town. His dad, my brother, kept pressing to see the diploma, not because he was suspicious, but because he was so proud. It took my nephew a year or so to come clean. After the initial shock wore off, we all rallied behind him to help him redo a year or two. He's now truly degreed, and we all love him so much. Anybody can crack. Man, your nephew's lucky to have a family like that. Yeah, 100%. You're like, because I know that's not the case in every family, and I know that like not every family would have that kind of support. So thank God that's like how your family is. Yeah, if I lied to my dad and he flew across the country based on that lie, I think our relationship would be severely strained. It was strained for a while. Even I was initially very angry that he lied to me too. I gave him a fairly substantial graduation gift too, but everyone makes mistakes and time has healed these wounds. It was almost 15 years ago. For real, my own family damn near disowned me when I dropped out of my vet tech degree after experiencing workplace bullying, and my relationship broke down, which left me a homeless, jobless, single mother. They were so angry that I dropped one of the last good things I had going for me, but I was under so much stress and had a complete mental breakdown. See, school is crazy because it can really lead you to breaking down. Like, honestly, throughout school, especially my first year in college, dude, I felt so hopeless and so stupid. I felt like the most stupid person on this planet, and it made me feel so worthless. Like, feeling stupid, I feel like, is one of the worst feelings that personally I've felt. And I know that now that I'm older and I recognize that there are reasons for why I wasn't a great learner growing up. And it's not that I want to blame that on like other things, but I do feel like this is something that if you can find explanations for it, it makes you feel better. Definitely that I had undiagnosed ADHD growing up. Like, I know I did. Even though I haven't been diagnosed yet, I still feel as if all throughout my childhood and all throughout growing up, middle school, high school, like everything that I experienced was a result of ADHD. And then second of all, I really didn't have anyone pushing me. Like I didn't have anyone motivating me. And I feel like at a young age, when you are figuring life out and you're young, like I do think that it's your parents' responsibility to push you and do things like that and motivate you. So sorry, but I'm gonna blame it on that too. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. The title of the next story is My Wife Who's Been Gaining Weight Called the Movie WALL-E Fatphobic. I was blown away and asked what she meant. She said it portrayed fat people as lesser than the others. I told her that I very much disagreed and that the characters in the movie literally could not walk around because their bones were deteriorating from their sedentary lifestyles. It honestly makes me nervous for her and her relationship with food and weight. She's about 5'2" and works in an office but weighs the same as me, a 6-foot male who works as a welder. And hell, even I could stand to lose 20 pounds. I always try to gently push her towards healthier food options. I refuse to buy her fast food or snacks. I try to get her to come on walks with me or go play something like bocce ball or go to the gym with me. A few months before the Wally comment, she said that she had given up trying to lose weight and didn't have an actually solid answer for me when I asked why. Despite saying that, she often complains about her weight and her appearance. More than once, she has cried into my shoulder because she doesn't like being overweight. She's still gorgeous to me, and I tell her that all the time, but I'm not sure how I can help her out more. Oh, that's so sad. What really helped me, like, even though I never experienced this specific situation, was realizing that it's actually just scientific the way that you lose weight. Like, it's calories in, calories out, and that it's really just as simple as being in a calorie deficit. And I feel like this healed so much in my brain with like my eating disorder thoughts and just feeling like I have to. And I truly thought, like, for a while, it was like, I'm not counting calories again. I think I'll just like slip back into my eating disorder. But once I realized that there's actually like a healthy way that you can lose weight and you don't have to starve yourself, like, you can eat. Actually, you don't have to eat celery sticks for breakfast and celery sticks for lunch and dinner. Um, you could actually eat like whatever you want as long as it fits into your calorie deficit, and you can still lose weight. Like, you can still eat pizza, you can still go to McDonald's. The other day I had Taco Bell, and Taco Bell's like, I had a Crunchwrap Supreme and I still had like calories left for the day to eat a good dinner. And I don't know, maybe like that's one thing I wish I could shout it from the rooftops, because I know a lot of people know this, and I knew this, okay? I knew this was the case, but like I just didn't really believe it. I just kind of thought, no, like that doesn't work for me. I'm just not good at losing weight. I have to like have an eating disorder to be able to lose weight. I feel like maybe if you guys do it together, because I know that I don't know. I really don't know like a lot of advice for this, because I don't want to be like insensitive about it or anything, and obviously there are other reasons why people can be overweight, and there are like underlying health issues too that could like make you not be able to lose weight. But obviously if you're struggling with the way that you look and you're not comfortable in your body, then there's many options that you can do, and I think that it's okay to want to change and to be better so that you look in the mirror and you don't hate yourself. That's like one of the things I struggled with for so long, just like looking in the mirror and hating myself so much. And finally, after like hating myself for so long, I finally was just like, okay, I need to just like lose weight, but do it in a healthy way this time so that I don't end up back at this spot that I'm at now, where I feel like so like, oh, I can't, I just can't, I don't know. I don't know. I felt just like I was like hopeless at the time. But me and my boyfriend do it together. We've been doing it together for a few months now. Calorie deficit and like being active, which obviously helps a lot, because the more active you are, the more that you can eat. And that helps a lot because like I work out pretty much 5 days a week. And then I also have a cheat day once a week where I don't count calories for like I'm good for the day. I'm pretty much like following my calorie deficit for the day, but then I have a cheat meal, and it's kind of crazy. Like, I usually have Chili's because Chili's is so good. I had the 4-piece honey chipotle chicken crisper with fries and mac and cheese this weekend. Baby, let me tell you, that is one of the best meals I ever done had. And also the triple dipper. so good. I can't even. Chili's, I would eat there every day if I could. But okay, some of the comments. Wall-E is literally a cautionary tale on a couple themes, but mostly humans destroying themselves and their environment and robot love. Any perceived fat phobia is just a misinterpretation of the message. OP said that's why it got me so riled up. We've also watched that movie a million times, and only now this year it is suddenly fat phobic. Several of the fatties save the day. The captain is a hero. OP said, of course, I always tell her it's great to be comfortable with yourself, but that being overweight is objectively less healthy. And then someone said, and also that the fat people in Wall-E are victims of their environment. That is a lot of what the movie is saying. It's a cautionary tale for us, since one could argue we're just earlier on the Wall-E timeline with hyper-palatable foods at the ready and pushed on us since infancy, sedentary lifestyle encouraged by internet and phone culture and disappearing communal spaces. It's easy to gain weight and hard to lose it. Maybe she should look into Ozempic or something. I agree with everything unless the last part. She should try a better lifestyle first. From OP's posts, it looks like she isn't even trying, and Ozempic was invented to treat specific health conditions. Using it for what is not meant for can come with prejudicial secondary effects. Sorry, that was so annoying the way I read that, but I do agree with that. Like, I do think that Ozempic should be the last resort, because what's scary to me is that, like, Ozempic is just, it hasn't been, which I'm not saying that this is bad or anything. I'm just saying that I feel like it should be the last resort because it hasn't been around long term. Like, it hasn't been around for a really long time, so we don't truly know the long term effects of it. And I 100% support people being on Ozempic. And but I feel like if you haven't tried, like, being healthier, incorporating more exercise and incorporating more of a healthy, balanced diet, I don't think that you should just go on Ozempic, because there are so many ways to do it that will help you learn how to sustain that lifestyle rather than just like going on Ozempic and not really learning. Other than, I know that it does help with like a lot of food noise, which was something that I was considering for a while, even though I 100% didn't need it because I didn't even meet the weight requirements for it. But for a while, like, I don't know, food noise does get to me sometimes, and it really is so hard to deal with. But since I've been like having a healthier lifestyle, it's been a lot better, and I'm really grateful for that, because it's one of the hardest things to deal with, especially when I was in my eating disorder in the thick of it. The food noise was so much louder because I wasn't allowing myself to have anything other than a crumb, and that definitely amped up the food noise. It was like somebody installed subwoofers in my brain, was like, think about every yummy food that you would ever want in your lifetime right now. And now I let myself have those things if I want them. But I try to be like healthy as well to nourish my body, because I want to like treat my body right. But then at the same time, sometimes I do want some hot Cheetos. Sometimes I do want a nice pizza, and I'm not sorry about it. Okay. Wow, look at me. I'm so healthy. I'm so like, my brain is just getting so much healthier. I'm so proud of it. Okay, anyways, the next story title is My Mom Says It's Inappropriate for My Husband to Take Our Daughters Camping Alone. I'm kind of at a loss here, so I'm hoping you all can help me out. My husband and I have been together for 15 years and married for 10, and we have 4 beautiful daughters, ages 8, 5, 3, and 1. My husband is what you'd call a guy's guy, and he's into all of the stereotypical guys things: cars, heavy metal, football, the outdoors, and all the power tools you could imagine. But here's the thing. He's never once been disappointed to have all girls. Not once. He's a great dad, super involved, patient, and loves spending time with them. I mean, he has long hair and lets them style it and put pink sparkly bows in it. They have him wrapped around their little fingers. And when people ask him if he wishes he had a son, he always says girls can do anything boys can do. Just because he has daughters doesn't mean he won't take them fishing or teach them how to use a wrench. And they love him so much. He's like the sun in their sky. So here's where I'm at. He's taking our 2 oldest girls camping in May, just the 3 of them. They'll be camping for 2 nights at a state park only about 45 minutes away. He's an expert camper, but we haven't been in years, and our oldest only vaguely remembers our last trip. He usually goes camping with friends a few times a year, and he's actually gone on his annual spring trip right now. It's something the girls have been begging to do, and they were so sad when he left this week. So, to make them feel better, he said he'd take them next month. So, he decided to take them in late May. I'm staying home for a few reasons. I'm not a huge fan of camping, and we just found out I'm pregnant again. Not exactly planned. So, sleeping on the ground doesn't sound like fun to me right now. Plus, I'd have to find a sitter for our two youngest for 2 nights, and I'd rather not. I don't want to tell my mom that this is the big reason I'm not going. She's been judgmental each time I've announced a pregnancy, other than my first one. My 8-year-old is so excited about the trip. She's been telling everyone she knows, but when she told my mom, she immediately reacted negatively. My mom basically told her it was inappropriate for her to go camping with her dad. My daughter was so upset about that, she cried. And I was honestly so shocked. I asked my mom what the big deal was, and she said it was wrong for a man to go camping with two girls, that they'd be sharing a tent, and it wasn't right for them to be sleeping in the same area as him. She even said people would think he's a kidnapper or something. Now, I get that my mom can be conservative about some things, but this? It feels a little extreme, even for her. She's disgusted by the whole idea and can't believe I'm allowing it. So now I'm apparently a bad mom, and my husband is a pervert. I'm honestly fine with it. I trust him completely, and I don't think there's anything inappropriate about a dad camping with his daughters. Heck, one of our daughters sleeps between us every night, and that's totally normal. The only concern I've voiced to my husband is that he'll end up doing all the work setting up the campsite, because let's be real, our girls aren't exactly helping with that. But now I'm starting to wonder, do other people think this is weird or inappropriate? If you saw dad camping with two young girls, would you think something strange was going on, or would you just assume he's their dad taking them on a fun trip? I'm really curious what others think. No, because I'm not a sicko. I don't think that way. When I see dads with their kids, I'm not like, ew, that's inappropriate. They should not be alone with him. I'm like, good on that dad for doing his job. Like, thank you for being a parent. Thank you for meeting the bare minimum and taking care of your kids, you know? Like, that's disgusting that your brain goes to that. I mean, I do like I think that's disgusting, but then a little part of my like empathy brain is thinking like maybe something happened with her dad growing up, or maybe something happened with her uncle, or something like traumatic happened, and that's what leads her to think this way. And I feel like that's really the only explanation for it. And if I don't know, if she just thinks that way, that's definitely very concerning and scary to me, because having that view is so dangerous and so just grody. Like, that's just grody. Hi guys! Sorry to interrupt, but if you want extra content weekly, go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/storytime society. If you want to listen on Spotify because you're trying to fall asleep or you're driving, then head to the link in the description. And if you're there and you don't mind, please rate me 5 stars on there. It really helps with the algorithm. And then the last thing is we have a subreddit linked below. We have a lot of things linked below, but the subreddit, you can share any stories that you want to share. Okay, thanks. Love you guys. Okay, someone said, WTF is wrong with her? Yeah, don't listen to your mom, OP. That's insanely unhealthy and a creepy way to view the world. If you had some reason to suspect your husband is a predator, that would be one thing, but you don't, so your mom is being ridiculous. He's their dad. If she had reason to suspect that, she'd have far bigger issues than just camping. I cannot stand that there are people that think fathers are 1 second away from blank their own children, their own daughters, and that it's totally acceptable to stay married to them as long as they aren't left alone with their own children. Yeah, because if you think that her husband is a predator, or if you have any proof that her husband is a predator, please let me know, because probably I wouldn't be staying with that man. Not like, what the hell? So you think that the only way that to protect her daughters is to just not let them be with their dad, but it's fine if you're like stay married to him, but it's like you need to supervise to make sure he doesn't touch them in an inappropriate way? Probably not a person that you should be with then. If you have any suspicions about that, then you probably should not be in that relationship. Okay, someone said, I'm in my 30s now, but experienced this as a kid and it was weird. I'm a Midwesterner. I learned to fish and clean a fish, lay a brick walkway, paint the front porch, garden, camp, build a fire, drive a boat, etc. before I was 11. Shh, on the boat part. And that is not to say I'm even that outdoorsy. My dad also took me to get my ears pierced, bought my party dresses, and taught me how to cook. I'm aware that both my uncle, mom's brother, and one of my mom's friends at one point implied the same thing this woman is implying. Or I guess saying out loud here. Doing all of this stuff with your dad is normal, and anyone who thinks it isn't is weird. So weird, because when I was little and growing up, I was with my dad alone all the time. And I am assuming no one was concerned about that. And if they were, they have problems and issues. And if they were actually concerned, then they probably should have taken me away from my dad. But my dad was a good dad and he would never do anything like that. So I don't think that crossed anyone's mind. I mean, I get it because like obviously if that does happen and it is a thing, it's not like it's never happened, but it's just like not a good narrative to push. So hopefully she moves past that unless she truly has a reason to be concerned. And then in that case, you should probably figure something out and advocate for them. But I don't think that's the case here. The next title is My Girlfriend Will Be So Mad If She Found Out, but I Have to Tell Someone Before I Burst. So I have some memory problems, not like clinically, but enough to affect daily life. This can understandably really piss off my girlfriend. Like if she asks me to sort out her laundry and I forget about it for 6 hours, or she asks what I ate for lunch and I say, I forgot to eat. Like, she isn't actually mad at me for forgetting, but it can get really inconvenient, especially if it's about chores, and I write so many notes and reminders for everything to try and do better. Sometimes my forgetfulness can get dangerous, like forgetting to turn the hob off. I've done it many times. Anyway, the story I wanted to say is the other day I went out by myself for a few hours just to go for a walk. I live in a city, so I drove out a little bit and parked up outside a shop in a pretty busy area. I took myself on a little walk, and after an hour, I started to make my way back to the car, but I realized I couldn't find my keys. I dug through my bag, all through my pockets, went back to everywhere I went and sat, asked people around me everything, no sign of my keys. I thought, this is fully going to put me in the shit house. Like losing all of my keys, including my car key. I knew this would stress my girlfriend out so much. So after all my searching, I started heading back to my car, keeping my eyes on the ground and hoping for any sign of the keys. When I eventually got back to the car, I realized it was unlocked. I thought, thank God, maybe I can hotwire it somehow, as if I had any clue how to do that. But then I realized the keys were in the ignition and the car engine was still running. I got out of my car, forgetting to turn the engine off, forgetting my keys, and forgetting to lock it. I was so relieved and horrified with myself at the same time. Thank God I drove further out of the city, but it's not like I was completely isolated. There was still quite a lot of traffic around where I parked. It was for real a miracle that it wasn't stolen. Plus, I'm poor, so my insurance would have done nothing for me, even if it was stolen. So that's my confession. I have a horrible time keeping secrets, but this is one that I'm definitely going to keep to myself, unless I want my girlfriend to have a heart attack, which wouldn't be ideal. I had to tell someone, though. I'm sorry. Does a car not like explode after being on for hours on end? That's crazy. Well, am I dumb? I don't know. I just feel like a car just sitting there, just on with the ignition on, but they're like it's not driving. I feel like that would just be so bad for it. I feel like it would overheat or something. But then again, obviously you can drive for hours and like your car's not going to blow up unless something's wrong with it. But I don't know. If there's any car people out there listening to this, let me know. Like, if that's bad for your car or not. I mean, I could text my dad. My dad's a car person, but that just sounds crazy to me. That sounds like something really bad would happen. Okay, let's read some comments. Have you seen a doctor about this? This doesn't seem like your normal forgetfulness. OP said, I am very much on the wait list for an ADHD assessment. It's just years long in the UK, unfortunately, but I will definitely get on the doctors and see how much longer I'll have to wait. My first thought was, does OP have ADHD? As you sound very similar to me, the NHS waitlist is indeed years long, but if you search right to choose ADHD, you will find NHS-funded companies that will get you assessed. It was 3 months last year, but the wait is still 6 months. Your GP can also help. The only other thing I suggest is reminders. It works at times, just not all the time. I thought ADHD too. It's not entirely being hyperactive like society tends to blame for it. It can include huge problems with memory as well. I struggle with comorbid type and Mine is shocking in a different way to this though, but it's a spectrum. I'd get your appointment in ASAP to be sure, otherwise there will be help for memory issues you can find. I'm not a doctor, so I won't offer advice with that, but a good place to start is online. And by to start, I mean to look for help. Don't end on a Reddit thread which says, OMG, lapis crystals changed my life. Edit. And yeah, the NHS wait list is shocking. My time was 5 years ago, so I had to go private because I stopped functioning. The NHS is severely mismanaged and our country is overloaded. NHS won't improve because our MPs are actively incentivized to sabotage it and make private the new normal like America. Because the people in charge of our free healthcare having stocks and private healthcare companies is absolutely nothing to worry about. Aw. This is something I feel like we talk about a lot because I always like every time this thing comes up, a lot of people from other countries will always comment like about the healthcare system in their country, and I learn a lot from you guys by you guys commenting that, and like it's crazy to me to think that they'd want to sabotage that when I feel like the world should be working towards free healthcare worldwide. But you know what? I'm not really expecting much anymore because of the current political climate that we are in. It's actually wild to me. I see something new every day that really, at this point, doesn't shock me. It's just like, where's the world going to be at? It's so crazy to me. It's also so crazy to me that so many people think that he's playing chess, not checkers, and saying that, oh my God, he's crashing the market because he's finding a way to make our economy be so much better so that these people, blah, 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 blah. He's playing chess, guys, not checkers. Like, do you realize how stupid that sounds? Do you realize how stupid you look saying that he's crashing our economy in a positive way? That is not what's happening. And of course, that's only with this presidency. But if Obama did that, God forbid. God forbid, he would have been crucified for that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me what people will do to excuse the current. I can't even name him. I can't, and I don't want to. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say his name out loud. It's like Bloody Mary. If you say it 3 times, he'll pop up, and I don't want him to, so I gotta get out of here fast. No, seriously though. And I saw this video today. It was actually so concerning of this. And see, this is what gets me. This is what gets me with the Christian community, okay? I saw this video and it's at this church. It's like this mega church. This girl's on stage painting, okay? While they're playing worship songs. And she's painting a portrait of this man. Like I said, I'm not going to say it. Initials start with D. Last initial starts with T. And I was so concerned. The caption was, but it's not a cult, or something, like joking about how I swear it's not a cult. And I'm like, dude, it's getting worse and worse, especially because religion is becoming political at this point. And it's like, if you're this religion, and I know that this isn't the case for everyone, but I think for a lot of people, and it's just becoming more common for religion to be political. I mean, it makes sense because, like, obviously, certain religions, it's just certain religions have these beliefs that line up with certain political parties. It's just so scary to me. It's like so concerning, and I hate it. I hate it. But, anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because then I will start having a spiral and I will probably not be well. And I don't want to make you guys not well either because I know that I'm like a distraction from that stuff. But also, I just want you guys to know that I'm also struggling and I am also right there with you in this political climate. And I'm also finding it very scary. And I wish that there was more I could do, but it seems like the more we do, like the worse it's getting. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do anything or whatever, but I just feel like he is coming back 10 times harder with every positive step that like the people are trying to make, if that makes sense. But Anyways, let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know if you like this theme and you think I should keep doing this. Obviously, let me know any theme that you guys really like. Let me know, because then I'll just like keep incorporating that theme in my videos. It always helps to know what you guys like. But yeah, I love you guys, and my neck is still really hurting, so that's why I feel like a robot right now, and I hope I don't sound like one. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.